Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, really?
I did a movie for the Lifetime channel when he was on, and my first scene with him, as soon as he walked in the room, I had to go down on one knee. Like, I couldn't even look at him. And people were looking at me like, what's the matter with this kid? And I kept lying to people, telling people I have allergies. And after like 10 minutes, it was just me and Dick Van Dyke. And I was like, I got to tell you, man, I can't stop crying because you're the first person I learned English from.
Yeah.
Like, I got up to watch you, to see you jump over that chair, to do all that zany shit. I think for 3 years I thought I was Dick Van Dyke. You know what I'm saying? Like, to see Dick Van Dyke, to me, you know, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, fucking, you know, all those movies as a kid. I mean, come on, to see, and then to, you know, and then Tom Van Dyke or his brother, and then he had a brother. But just to see that.
Jerry Van Dyke or something.
Yeah, Jerry Van Dyke. You know, I've seen Pacino, and I just walked by him, you know, and but when I seen the guy in Scarface that cut his arm off, his brother's arm off, like he's in a couple movies. I seen him in a commercial audition once. I fell all over myself. I couldn't even focus on the audition. I had to talk to the guy. His name is Al Israel. He's Jewish. And every role he's ever played in Hollywood was a Spanish role. He's never played a Jewish role. Every role he had was a badass drug dealer who shot somebody. And it was just amazing talking to him. And like, I'm like, you ever go back to New York? And he's like, nah. Everybody's dead or in jail or fucking strung out on drugs. I mean, it was like talking to a mirror.
Yeah.
He had the same life. And it's amazing how, you know, in my wallet, I have a union card. Felicia, I was never even a fucking Boy Scout. Like, I've never belonged to nothing. I'm in a Screen Actors Guild. How fucking crazy is that? How fucking crazy is that if I live, I'm going to have a pension?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be much. I'm not going to be a millionaire. But just the fact that...
Dude, you're a working actor.
I had nothing. I didn't know anything about... I didn't even want a pension. I knew nothing about insurance. I knew nothing. Like, I'm like... And I look at this card, and it says member since 98. Like, I'm like, wait a second. I've been a member of SAG now, 15 fucking years. 14 years, you know? So it's like, you know, people are stuck in their lives, and sometimes... things just happen, and you don't know how you get there. You know, that song by the Talking Heads is a beautiful song, same as it ever was.
Yeah.
You know, how did I get here? I got a beautiful wife, a beautiful car. What the fuck, you know? And,
dude, it was a long, hard road for you, my friend.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Full of potholes, dirty pussy, and cocaine.
Cocaine, and just, but still, it like, Felicia's just really weird that you try to talk to people in life, and people always talk to me and like, oh, you know, you got it. You have friends that are stuck or something, and you're like, you know, we're having a discussion earlier about, you know, people get busy and they get scared. Like, my big thing is I'm fearful, and I just pull it off. Don't ask me how. I'm more scared than the next guy.
Everybody's scared. I mean, everybody has to be scared at some point for some kind of reason. And people do get stuck for sure. I think it's good that you bring up, you know, the fact that you think about your life in that way. Because I think people get stuck because they don't keep a list of all the things they have accomplished. They only keep a list of things they haven't accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to take a step back and look like, wow, I left my husband 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago, and in that 3-year period, I'm again a national headliner, and I have a podcast with one of the coolest comics on the planet, Joey Diaz. You know, that got over 1.2 million downloads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sucking cock with 2 handfuls. You know what I mean? Things are good.
You know, and if you believe in this life, fucking things happen sometimes. Like, they just happen. And you know, opportunities arise from you just getting involved.
Yeah.
You know, and
absolutely.
people always hit me up like, hey, I'm thinking of starting stand-up tonight. And it's like, man, just get on stage. Don't worry about the fucking material. Just get up there and get that high. And then check back with me. And then we'll go on to step 2. But step 1 is getting up there. I don't even care about the material. Because once your feet touch that floor and that light hits you, and it's for anything, you know, law school. I was just talking to a friend's daughter who was sweating law school for fucking 6 months, you know, taking those tests and those LASTAs, whatever the fuck they are. They're tough, you know, and now she got into a law school, and it's like I told you, you know, as long as you do your fucking work and you open up doors, everything works out.
Well, we have been doing our work, and like now, we had kind of gotten into a little bit of a rut on the podcast, and we were like, we're going to have guests, and we just made the effort, and it's been, I think, some of the best podcasts we've had,
Man, we had some people. That Dennis podcast really took me.
Dennis Fanning.
And what's crazy was, as I was doing the
LAPD.
Dennis Fanning thing, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a fucking nightmare. Like, there was a couple parts during the Fanning thing. I was like, oh God, how am I gonna... I didn't know, but I knew that I liked what was going on. I just didn't like, I didn't think our audience would really like it. I liked what was going on. He had me, Felicia.
Yeah, no.
I love to be captivated.
We recorded twice the amount of material I had to cut away, so much material.
He was very captivating, and we've been very lucky. Like, I didn't want to get just, when we started the podcast together, we discussed guests, and I was like, I really want people to get to know us, for a while. And then we got kind of stuck. And we didn't just get guests. We got guests that even we left here leaving, scratching our head, from George Perez to Mina.
Yeah, that was a really
good one.
Powerful one. Nina Manny.
Nina Manny was a good one, just to compare notes with her. Felipe took us to a different level.
Felipe's one was, and I was so, weren't you like thunderstruck by Felipe's reveals? Like, I was like, wow, that's amazing how far he's
Felipe
come.
had it hard. I didn't know it was to that level of, he had been mixed up in a lot of stuff. I assume, being me, that everybody gets assumed with everybody gets caught up with somebody who's on drugs at one time or another in their life, or everybody gets caught up in something when they're young. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And sometimes it's very interesting what people get caught up on. That conversation with Felipe had me on the edge of my seat, because it took me back to me. He was just, when you see a mirror of people, it makes me uneasy, and it makes me, it's like, what's that? It's like a sweet sensation at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, it gets my dick hard that somebody else went through that, but at the same time, I'm in shock that somebody else went through that.
Right, yeah.
Like, wow, I thought I was special, that I had only gone through that pain. No.
Yeah.
Everybody. And we could have Felipe in here for 3 more episodes, and he's got 4 chapters of pain in a fucking suitcase. So somebody came up to me and they go, hey, I seen that Mexican guy in his Showtime special. It was really good and really different. I go, that's Felipe. Felipe's really good,
awesome,
and really fucking different. And even Felipe, for example, I knew Felipe was struggling with his demons 6-7 years ago. We discussed them, and he met somebody. I mean, he's a fucking veggie now. He's a vegetarian. He's the first Mexican vegetarian ever. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans don't even dream of being vegetarians.
Yeah.
And this is just a story of somebody who, he's getting to better himself. When he told us about the donations he made when he won Last Comic Standing, like, it blew my fucking mind.
That was very interesting.
He paid back some of the people that he fucked over and shit like that, and just little things. Child support came and took his money, his saga with the kids. He's got great stories about his kids meeting him on Facebook.
Yeah.
At first, he was saying that joke on stage, and it was pretty fucking funny, but I like having people on that I get to learn something from, in a way.
His whole story was, he really took you on that ride,
But Dennis, at first, I was nervous, because I didn't know.
First of all, Dennis is a huge
motherfucker.
Huge. I mean, Joey's a big dude, and when Dennis was here, I was all like, "Look at little Joey Diaz,
Dennis is
little
a big
pipsqueak."
And it's weird, because as I got to hear his conversation, I started to look at him. I've dealt with a lot of cops, so I could see him. I could see him in his uniform. I could see his attitude. I could see him letting me loose for something. Because he's the type of cop that he's just not going to arrest you. He's going to catch you with something, rub it in your face. He's not going to fuck with you. And I've never hated cops. Like, I've never had and he said it too. He's a professional cop. And he goes, it was a game. It was a game. And he knew the odds were always with him. That cop knew that the odds were always with him. You know that the more you keep throwing spaghetti against the wall, I'm going to catch you. Yeah. I'm going to catch you. Eventually, you're going to be driving with a rock in your pocket or a gun under your seat, and I'm going to catch you. No, I left here that night like, wow, that was a great interview with a fucking...
No, that was and I kind of felt like it elevated what we are going to be capable of doing with the podcast, Like, I said to the activity partner yesterday, I'm like, the podcast is going to have legs, and I'm so happy I'm putting something positive out there,
Felicia, this is all we can do. And Felicia and myself have had hours of conversations of what direction we wanted this to go into. And, Felicia's really busy, and I'm really busy. And sometimes I'll just get high and listen to 3 or 4 podcasts. And I admire a lot of them, but I also knew what I didn't want. Just because I put myself as the listener, I didn't want to hear a bunch of promoting stuff. I just want to hear people being themselves, but from a third person. If I have you on here because you're a stand-up, I don't want to talk about stand-up. I want to talk about something that people don't know about you. We know you're a stand-up. We know you fucking were on HBO, but we want to know what drove you, like when I tell you fear. I think fear is the best motivator there is. If it wasn't for fucking fear, I wouldn't do dick, because I don't like being scared.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being fucking scared. There's paranoia, there's being not confident, there's so many different levels of insecurity, but being scared for me is the worst. And it just goes to show you who the fuck I am. You put me in a corner, I'm like a rat, You put me in a fucking corner, I'm going to attack you. But I'm not talking about it from that way. I'm talking about attacking life in that way. I'm really fearful. I don't even know half the shit I do, with General Hospital, when I got let me tell you something. When I walked on that set, if I wasn't telling you I wasn't nervous that day, I'm lying to you.
I would have been complete, because there's no fucking around on a soap opera, right?
No, and I've done it 1,000 times. I've done lines 1,000 times. I've been on 1,000 stages like you.
You got to do it. Don't fuck up. Let's move on, right?
There's no drama. And I started having doubts. And I got to tell you, that fear even had me walking off the set and getting in my car and fucking that aspect of my life. Like, I don't need this. They're not going to like me. I'm not going to be fucking good at this. That's the last thing you get before you walk through those gates.
I know.
Right before you walk through those gates, is that you're never going to amount to nothing.
Saying, yeah.
You're a piece of shit anyway. Why are you doing? Who are you lying to?
I feel that way every time I go on an audition.
Do you really? Yeah. Like, they're not going to like me.
That's why I don't like to audition.
It's amazing what your mind does to you sometimes just to test you. Like, as I was walking through those gates, I was all excited till I parked.
Yeah.
And they're like, Mr. Diaz, drive through. First they call him Mr. Diaz. Boy, are they confused. Boy, are they confused. You know what I'm saying? There's only one word to call me, and that's piece of shit. If you're not calling Mr., why are you calling me, like all those things start to come into play. And then once I get through, I go, fuck it, I'm just going to go for broke. And I swear to God, it's like closing my eyes and getting on a ride. And that's what I've been doing since day one. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you really want to get your stand-up career, you got to go to L.A. I fucking hate L.A. But let me close my eyes and get on the 101 and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's really what life is sometimes. For me, it's fear. I'm driven by fucking fear.
Yeah.
Stand-up lately, I've been getting fearful again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, it's true. Every time, like, I have fear going on stage, something great always comes out of it,
How many times have you gotten in your car and you're like, because there's a difference. Again, there's some nights you're comfortable, you got 11:15 spot. I don't want to fucking get dressed and get on the 101 and go to Hollywood or whatever, get on the Sunset or whatever. But there's other nights where you're like, I have no material. I have nothing. Whoa, Felicia. You've been doing comedy for 20 years. How the fuck? I say this to myself too.
Yeah.
You start the car, you're like, boy, I don't want to do this. I'll call Felicia. All I need is somebody to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I get in that car before I get on the 101, I just need one motherfucker to go, Joe, you don't need to go down there.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yeah. And I'll never find those people around me. They know how I am. So they're like, but it's amazing, and I want you to tell people, you get fearful.
Oh, absolutely.
I have no material. I have nothing to wear. I'm too fucking, what
I've
do they
done
want?
45 minutes in a month and a half.
Yeah, and you talk yourself out of everything. Yeah. If I let myself talk myself out of everything, I wouldn't do fucking anything. Nothing. I'm a great salesman. And it's amazing how you're like, I don't want to I have to go down there. And then sometimes you go down there thinking you're going to bomb. Like, I'm just going to go down there and bomb. And that's the fear. But fear of bombing. Like, I'm going to Chicago next week. I can't bomb in Chicago because I have to shoot myself. You just can't bomb in Chicago. There's no crying in baseball.
And sometimes in Chicago, you can bomb.
You can bomb, but you can't bomb in Chicago.
You can't bomb in Chicago.
You can't bomb in Chicago. So you want to be ready, but I just want to let people know, man, that it's okay to be fearful of doing something. Just know what you're getting yourself into. the biggest step is taking the step.
That's true.
Close your eyes after that.
True.
You know, I got to go for a needle in 2 weeks and surgery, and I am.
Yeah.
It's eating me alive. I fainted 4 times in 2 weeks on my own. Never mind when I start seeing white people with jackets on.
You know what? Because when you were coughing, I went and got you some water, and I was like, if this motherfucker faints, I am not doing mouth to mouth. That's what I was thinking.
It's fucking hard.
I was like, oh, fuck.
We're back, bitches. Felicia Michaels.
Joey Diaz.
How are you, sexy animal?
I'm good. I am crazy as usual, but things are really good, you know.
We had a nice time yesterday. Myself and Felicia had an afternoon date.
Yeah.
Felicia fucking made me laugh so much yesterday because I didn't talk to her in the morning, and I'm kind of worried about her. And I go, she's working out. And I went and ran errands, and about 11:30, I don't know what happened. We finally got a hold of each other. And we're just feeling each other out on the phone. You want to do the podcast today? I don't know. How about you? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. All right. I'll call you in a half hour. Joey, what do you do when your car runs out of gas? And I'm like, well, what happened? You go, I ran out of gas a couple minutes ago. And I'm like, you know what? And I do have a gas car, a gas can, because I ran out of car with the original Subaru. I misguided the light. You know, it was telling you 37 lights, 37 miles to empty. And I just know what people are going through. But it's so weird. Like, Felicia ran out of gas and pulled an American. She goes, fuck it. It's in a good place. It's under a tree. I'll leave it here. I'll worry about gas later.
Because I did it in the morning. I did it when I had like half my pajamas on, eye boogers on, you know what I mean? A cup of coffee in my hand. I was screaming at the kids, got them out of school. Thank God I didn't run out of gas on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. And then I got close to my neighborhood, and I the first time I ran out of gas in that car. And I had pulled over, pushed my little SUV out of someone's driveway, took my coffee and walked home and said, fuck it. And then you called around 3-ish, and I was all like, what are you doing?
And you're like, yeah, I'll be ready in 45 minutes. And it was just great to just see somebody. But
you were
just
sweet
how she
to help
did
me.
it.
Thank
What's
you.
that?
You were sweet to help me.
No, because I know what people go through. But the funny thing was how you did it. That's what I respected the most. That's why I had to help you. If you would have called me at 9 stressed out, fuck you, I wouldn't have helped you. But you did the professional. You're like, fuck it, what am I going to do at 9? Some weird shit happened this week, which I really wanted to ask you about. And I wanted to ask you about it in 2 different ways, Felicia, because one way I know you're friends with him, but I wanted to ask you as part of the whole stereotype that I hear, and it fucking pisses me off. This whole thing with this Letterman thing.
You want to explain it a little bit?
You explain it. I don't.
Well,
you know bits and pieces
I
like
know
me.
bits and pieces. The comedy booker for Letterman did a interview with a writer, I think, and it got into the New York Times. And it wasn't a very flattering interview, and I don't even know how fair it is, but then I think there was a little bit of a text exchange or something between the booker and the writer of the Times piece, and somehow, for some reason, it happened that Eddie called Amy Schumer, comedian's a comic's girlfriend. When I heard that he was kind of in hot water, I had put up on my Facebook, fuck that he has to apologize to Amy Schumer, because I just kind of feel like if you're going to be equal, you gotta sometimes take a little shit equally, and I'm probably not politically correct, and on Facebook a lot of women kind of got a little pissy about that with me. Like, he shouldn't be fired, not saying all this kind of shit, and you have issues, and it's just like, are you kidding me? It was very interesting, and Eddie, he had Facebooked me and said thank you for, being a little bit on my side, but not, but in a very nice way, and that was it. And, I've known Eddie since I've started comedy, and I have great memories of Eddie, and Eddie has always been a stand-up guy to me, you know what I mean? Like, never tried anything, was very helpful. I stayed at his place in New York when I was first doing comedy, and a place he shared with Dennis Leary and Tony V, and my great, for me, one of my best comedy memories is Bobcat Goldthwait showing up at the door with Tony V. He's going to sleep there, but he sees me huddled on the couch in my coat. There was a crack in the apartment with snowflakes coming and landing on my face, and Bobcat going, I don't think so, I'll stay in a hotel. Like, all these memories I have because of Eddie Brill, like, and in fact, the day I got to Eddie Brill's apartment in New York, I did Gary Muleder was this old school comic, and he was doing Letterman, and we happened to be on the same flight, and he said, I'll drop you anywhere. I have the Letterman's limo, because he was coming to do Letterman. And so I stayed at Eddie Brill's apartment, and I got to go to Letterman and hang out backstage at Letterman, and Gary Muleder got bumped. But, and Eddie Brill was there. It was like one of the greatest experiences ever, and Eddie's been a solid guy to me. And but people get really weird about Letterman, like, and then people are like, poo-pooing Letterman, and it's just like, why are, not everyone's going to get on Letterman. I don't think I'm going to get on Letterman.
Neither do I.
I'm not a Letterman comic. But people, if you even bring up, well, maybe you're not a Letterman comic. What do you mean? I mean, maybe you're not a Letterman comic. I'm not a Letterman comic. And there's 23 other ways to go about it now,
It's funny that...
Sorry I got so long-winded.
I'm going to get a little slack for this. But one thing I've always respected about you, Felicia, one thing I've always known in my heart about a female comic, I look at a female comic and I look at the evolution of a female comic. And here's the problem. Stand-up starts, and I'm not saying this in a fucked up way, but stand-up starts, and Felicia, when you go do a show, you're the only girl. It's like 1 out of fucking 6 guys. And it was worse when you started. The numbers were
it was really
bad.
It was like 1 out of every, I bet it was like 1 out of every 25 guys.
And I think that when in Rome, you have to adjust. And I see...
I might be exaggerating.
Excuse me?
I might be exaggerating on
that.
Yeah,
no. The fuck yeah. There was 50 fucking guys walking around the store. It was you, Azuki, and the blonde. And maybe
Tamaya.
2 other ones that I don't know, or 3 other ones. But 6 to 50 is 7 to 1 fucking odds, and now it's 3 to 1, But when you're in a room, when you go do a gig, it's usually you and 8 fucking guys. Whether you come up to Rogan's thing or whatever. And every once in a while you do a girl show or whatever. But a woman's mentality, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, has to change. Yours did, but you've always been a guy, girl. God even gave you 2 boys to complement your thing with guys. You and I get along great. I've seen you around guys and I've seen you around women. You're a very sweet woman, but around guys you become a stand-up, Felicia. Right, I've seen you. Yeah. And a lot of women want to go in there with the women's lib. I want to be, they're not hiring women. Then fucking step up to it. But at 33, every woman gets an itch. They got to go spit out a kid. The ovaries come in. The ovaries always come in, and they don't have nothing to do with it.
Hey, I'm getting uncomfortable now with the turn of the conversation.
But it's women like you that have come back and continue to do stand-up. And I got to tell you, Felicia, when you're around guys, you're a little bit of a guy. You mix right in. Nobody argues with you.
Yeah.
It's the women that come and want to stick up for who the fuck I am that have a problem. And again, I can't say know your place because that's the wrong word. It's just to make it a lot easier.
I'm not going to agree with that at all.
No, I'm not saying that. Make it a lot easier. The women that stuck up their hands 2 weeks ago are the same women that complain about everything. They complain about everything in stand-up.
Yeah.
I did this. There's not enough women in stand-up. How come I don't have a show? It's the same ones, and they don't grasp the idea of the work ethic.
Well, here's the thing. Like Elaine Boozler, I guess, had put something on her Facebook. Elaine Boozler was a comic when 20 years before me.
When there was 9 to 1 ratio. When there was 13 to 1 ratio.
When it was even worse. So to me, it's like, you know what? That's right, Elaine Boozler. You should talk some shit. But then for the younger girls to be all like, and there needs to be new blood at Letterman, and there needs to be that. And it's like, you know what? And there were people on there about, what if I choose to be a road comic and blah, 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 and why don't we get a chance to be on that? It's like, you know what? Because Karen Ratowski, Eddie Brill groomed her for a year to go on Letterman. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. And there are comics that, that he warms up the crowd. He knows what's going to work in front of that crowd, and I'm not close friends with Eddie by any means, but it's just everyone needs to relax. If you want things to truly be equal, then sometimes you got to take a barb. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and the real way to have gone about it was to be really fucking kind of funny and mean about it, but be funny about it, you know what I mean? Then that would have wounded him and it would have been all's fair, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, but then maybe I'm a bad woman. Maybe I sell the rest of women down the drain, you know?
Women make me laugh. Women have always made me laugh. And I'm not saying this because of the topic. Some of my favorite shows are women fucking based. I Love Lucy. She made me laugh. Now, let's get deeper. He's talking about women stand-ups. Because right now, the last 10 years, nobody rocked on TV like that bitch from Will and Grace. Nobody has rocked on TV. Not Charlie Sheen. Nobody has made me laugh like the little drunk girl. What's her name? We talk about her all the time on Will and Grace.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody.
The one with the high voice.
Nobody.
Voice,
Nobody.
Yeah.
That's the funniest chick the last 10 years.
Yeah, she's funny.
Fucking fucked them up. It was like Alice when I was a kid. It wasn't Alice who made the show. It was the Southern waitress. She used to fuck them up on a daily... Flo. Flo would fuck those motherfuckers up. She was the whole show, you know? But women stand-ups, again, I'll tell you what, women make me fucking laugh. I love when I go out sometimes and a woman, ones that they're pushing down my throat don't make me laugh.
Yeah.
It's the ones I bump into on an off night at the Improv that I've never seen before, and I come to you 2 days later and I go, I seen that girl the other night. She was fucking funny. You know what I'm saying? I like when a woman goes up there and doesn't give a fuck. I.e. Danielle Stewart with this fucking Wonder Woman suit on. You know, she don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I like
Danielle
that. That's what a woman has to act like.
And you know, and there's so many different types of comedy. But to me, when I see Danielle, I don't even see a chick, even though she's the hottest juicy morsel around. I see a fucking comic. You know what I mean? Like there's different types of comics, you know. And Danielle, I don't know if she'll ever get on Letterman, you know, because she's too dirty, you know. Like but she's fucking awesome.
But she's not gonna call you and go whine on Letterman.
She's not gonna.
She knows where the fuck you stand. Yeah. No, but I don't like that saying that. And I don't even think that's what it was about. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't like that saying that women aren't funny. I seen a lot of women. I think
he was, if I'm correct, in saying things along the line of, you know, when women doing comedy take on masculine qualities and that they're not, I guess, into that kind of a thing for Letterman. I think that's what was kind of being said. And it's like, yeah, I totally understand that, because to be an equal in any room, whether it's on the comedy stage or at an office building in Des Moines, if you're being equally heard next to the loudest man in the room, you've taken on manly qualities to a point. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. But that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And if that's how they see it, that's how they see it. And you know. Make fun of it, but fucking move on. Worry about yourself.
Fuck them. They can't take a joke, take a motherfucking shuttle. And now, for our words from our sponsor, let's start out with my motherfucking favorite company in the world, TaintedVisionArt.com.
Tainted Visions.
I went over to their fucking webpage. They got a Beauty and the Beast section for all the stuff we talked about on the commercial.
Yes.
So I applaud. The Law and Order comic book is out of stock, so you have to wait till the next stocking. But they got a nice Game of Death, Bruce Lee. They got some great new fucking concert posters. Go on there and look. They also have monthly specials and the manufacturer specials every month. If your order's over 100, you get free shipping across the United States. Go to TaintedVision.com. Support them. We support them. You should too. And for the people who have a bad foot or your neck hurts or whatever, don't forget NOCC for all your dispensary needs. 4854 Lancashire Boulevard. Go in there, tell them we sent you from Beauty and the Beast. Get a free fucking edible. That's how we roll.
I was just thinking as you were doing all that, man, you're a fucking professional now, Joey Diaz.
What am I going to do? I got no choice. But I use these products, and that's why I like it. I told you what happened to me last night. The surgeries got me all fucked up. So I went over to the weed store, get a little hoochie coochie, because I haven't been going every day. I've been cutting down. And they had free cookie samples. So I took a quarter of a fucking quarter. It was like that time I took, what's that bad pill, Oxycontin? I took like a 16th of an Oxycontin. And it took me to a different level of high. I started sweating profusely. I was sitting in my car at midnight sweating from my titties. Let me tell you something. When you sweat from your forehead or your ears or your head, that's okay.
Yeah.
But when sweat is coming from the under of your titty lining, that's not right. And I sat there. I drove to Yum Yum Donuts with no shirt on, with all 4 windows open and the sunroof, sweating profusely.
I was just thinking, I have never sweated under my titties, so that's
yes,
good.
You have.
I have not.
You
that's
got
good
those
news
good
for me.
Chunky titties and shit. Fuck yeah. But it's just amazing when you don't eat an edible for a while. And it was only like this 30, 40 an hour rush of this thing. But it fucking destroyed me, Felicia. We've been doing this podcast for 18 months. We're having a great time doing it. We have a great fucking time doing it. I love talking to Felicia. I love spending time. I love interviewing the guests. And we've done comedy albums and posters and pictures. But now I want to thank everybody who bought the CD. It's either you or the priest that Felicia took the beautiful cover picture of.
Oh, yeah.
That you're buying it from the webpage. In the next couple months, we're going to be putting some more stuff up there. Coffee mugs, pictures, whatever. All under $5. We're going to have our own little Beauty and the Beast store. And if you'd like to support us, go right ahead. We're not looking for donations. We're not looking for nothing. We're just looking to earn our fucking keep here every month and keep you guys happy. And at the same time, we're happy. Felicia's scratching her shoulder right now. She looks so fucking sexy. You know what I'm saying?
There's sirens in the back, and I just like when we brag about ourselves and there's cop sirens.
There's been cop sirens the last fucking 2 days endlessly.
Yeah.
Today there was a helicopter. Yesterday I walked out of my house and a cop was flying by, and as I walked out to the street, he made a fucking U-turn. So I knew they were looking for a guy like me. So I just started walking with a limp, and they walk right past me. You know what I'm saying? You always got to walk with a limp. You never know. But I like when the cops fuck with you. But no, we're going to start doing a lot of things here. Felicia just announced we're going to do another a live telecast on Easter Sunday.
Yes.
We're going to look for eggs with a camera. Whoever finds the eggs, we'll figure something out. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're going to do an upstream on Easter. So that'll be a lot of fun. Because, we're not going to do them every week. It's better to do them as a special occasion. And we had so much fun on the Christmas Eve one. In fact, I think with this podcast, I'm going to add some of the Christmas Eve stuff.
That's
to this podcast.
And don't forget, Felicia's doing some dates. A lot of people have been hitting me up. A lot of people going to see Felicia in San Antonio.
That's
Felicia's got some dates in San Antonio. She'll be in San Diego, California.
From the 14th of February.
Where else are you going to be? You're going to Chattanooga?
I'm going to San Diego. I'll be there the 24th and 25th.
Of February?
Yeah, of February. And then I'll be in Chattanooga and Phoenix in March and April.
Okay.
And things are starting to gear up again. It's funny going through the holidays and you kind of let yourself go and you been lazing around, rush, but then to try to get something shaking in the new year. And I feel like a lot of my friends have anxiety because everyone is like, now we got to get something going. It's a new year. Everyone's starting to get all crazy again.
Well, the year started out busy. I mean, the retailers, everybody's doing well. Before I forget, yesterday was my 29th anniversary of my first arrest. January 19, 1983. Like I told you, I always keep all that shit in mind.
You do, by the way, you do.
Because it's funny because yesterday when I picked Felicia up to get the gas, at one point I was kind of scared because I'm a felon. I can't have a gas tank with my car.
That's what he said to me as we're going in the car. He's like, I'm really nervous because I have a gas can. I'm a felon. I'm not supposed to have one.
I fucking can have gas cans. That's my middle name. Fucking matches. But you're going to be in San Antonio. I'm going to Chicago with Joe, and I'm also going to be at the Vegas thing.
Chicago is this weekend?
Chicago's the 27th, and then Vegas is Super Bowl weekend, and then I'm having my surgery on the 7th. So,
7th of February?
Yeah, 7th of February. So we'll be still taking hard here, Beauty and the Beast, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and thank you so much, you guys, for all the sweet comments about the guests, and it makes us feel like, we're going in the right direction, and thank you so much for listening today. Today we thought we would just have the two of us and to talk about whatever experiences we had with the guests. So your favorite one out of all of them, which one was your favorite one? Seriously.
I'm pretty close between the cop, Felipe, and George Perez. Because I listened to George Perez's again. It really hit home with me and I hope it hit home with. I have a lot of young kids. Like I think our youngest Beauty and the Beast fan is 13, and I'm going to be a guest on his first podcast thing this week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Saturday. He's a 13-year-old kid
Saturday?
from New York. Yeah, I got to call him. He's in New York, so I got to call him and do a call in, and. When I get these emails from people, man, about that they've gone through criminal lives or they've gone through drug addictions or any problems they have, It gets my dick hard, Felicia. I get a lot of, hey, you have a great podcast, and Felicia's great. She's fucking hot. And somebody sent Felicia a picture of his heart on.
Oh, yes.
On Twitter like 18 fucking times. You know what I'm saying?
His name is on there, and it's like, you know what I mean?
He don't give a fuck.
Like a
He don't give a
name.
fuck.
Like, why would you?
I love it.
And then I thought maybe he's just sending me a picture
Why
of the heart
twit
on.
when you could send somebody a picture of your dick?
I know, and I go to his site, and there's like 23 pictures of 23 different heart-ons.
Would you take a picture of my nutsack, Felicia, and send it on Twitter one time?
And you know what? His cock looks kind of pretty.
Yeah, no, that's it.
It made me look at all of them like, wow, that's really weird.
Why sit there for 10 minutes tweeting 140 characters when you could just show somebody your dick right there on TwitPic? You know what I'm saying? Cut right through the fucking Malouk. There's no hello. There's no fucking 140.
And for
nothing.
his picture, he uses. Have you noticed on Twitter that some people use a picture and it's like an egg? Have you seen that a lot?
Yes.
What is that? And they're different colored eggs. Like, what is the egg represent? I'm not that cool. And so now every time I go to see if someone is, mention me or something, I look for the egg. I'm like, is he going to show me another one? Like.
Somebody is sending pictures of their dick to Felicia. I love it.
It's shiny too. It looks like it just got a wax job.
What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? See, Beauty and the Beast listeners wash
there's no
their dick.
dents. You know,
No, they wash
it's
their
not particularly
helmets.
hairy.
No,
it
they wash their
big.
dicks. Yeah, no, that's what. If somebody wants to send a picture of Felicia to the dick, go right ahead. She loves them on Twitter.
But I wish he would stop doing it in front of the door. Like, if the door is always in the background, like, could you shift the perspective so I could see the rest of your bedroom?
See, Felicia looks at all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's
the years of Match.com.
What about if it was a made-up person, but then the real person was like Wayne Fetterman or someone bizarre? Like, you're like, what?
How come nobody sends me a picture of that big, hairy fucking pussy?
Would someone please send a picture
and not an ugly fucking
of their
picture,
big, hairy pussy?
Like a 22, 23-year-old girl. Just send me a snapshot of the monkey. I don't want to see your face.
We'll accept any pussy snapshot.
That's right. No, not no fat chicks and nothing like that.
I say anything.
With a fucking hemorrhoid on their clit.
But just your pussy. Just your pussy.
Just your pussy.
Yeah.
I don't want to see your face.
Yeah.
If
you
got a nice asshole, you can take a picture of
bit.
your asshole too. I don't give a fuck. If you want to send the whole from behind the
asshole
world
would
and
be
around
great.
the world shot, I'm all in. You know what I'm saying?
Send pictures of your assholes.
Can you imagine?
But not if you're under 18, since we just
nah,
talked about
fuck
our
it. Send it.
13-year-old
Who gives
fan.
a shit?
No one under 18.
No one under 18
No
send
one under
pictures
18.
here because I don't want to have to talk to your mother and shit. And
But I'll
why.
retweet.
Can you imagine that if somebody has like a raffle, send a picture of your asshole? The best picture was like a trip to Cozumel or something like that. How fucking crazy is that? Only MTV.
How about we do send a picture of your asshole raffle, and then the best one wins a butt plug?
That's disgusting. Then we'll have to sign up with fucking Adam and Eve again to send them a free fucking butt plug, whatever.
I'm sure there's a beautiful lowbrow art butt plug on Tainted Visions art.
Like an old one with like a picture of the B-52s on it.
It's been decoupage and crackly, so
But
it
you know
would go
what's
with any
crazy? I
decor.
thought about you could use a pacifier as a butt plug too. Like a little pacifier, you could.
That is so terribly wrong.
Think about it.
Oh.
I would put a pacifier
You
up a
would
chick's
put
asshole and
You,
just,
I
and just
thought
give
you
it
said
the little malouk.
you were going to put one up your asshole.
No. What's wrong with you?
You're probably sitting on a pacifier right
No,
now.
I don't like that shit in my ass. I haven't had a pacifier since I was 6, though.
Did you used to hide them in your ass?
No, that's disgusting.
When your mom got mad at you?
I never thought about it then. If I would have thought about it at 6, I would have stuck anything up my ass at 6. You know me, at 6 I was sticking shit everywhere. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I stuck an eraser in my dick hole one time.
You stuck an eraser in your dick hole?
When I was a kid,
You
fucking
did?
around. I stuck shit everywhere. Beads in my ears. I had everything, dog.
Did it get stuck in there?
No, it popped out. I would, you used to get the big pencils and shit. You just pop the tip off. And when you're a kid, you look at your dick like, what can I do to this thing to defeat it? I don't fucking know. I was just trying.
Well, I've never
I'm
thought
an only
to
child.
want to stick a compass up my pussy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
And see what direction you were facing?
I never have stuck school supplies in any hole of my body.
No, that was just a pencil one time, like a Q-tip
Still
hole.
officially a school supply.
You never stuck a Q-tip in your pee hole? I stuck a Q-tip in my pee hole.
You stuck a Q-tip in your pee hole?
Just to see what it would feel like. Maybe your pee hole needs to get clean. Barnacles develop around the rim. You want to just stick it in there to keep it clean. They did it in the old days, right? They push the cannon, they fucking put the thing in, then they put the gunpowder.
All right.
Look at Felicia, all right.
I'm all like uncomfortable weirdly. I don't know why. a lot of people have been emailing and asking me to put up some of the stuff, or put up the whole upstream we did on the Christmas Eve Mass. And I am going to put up a little bit of the favorite pieces that I liked, and here it is.
Here you have it, bitches.
Jay called me today, and I was being all crazy in the kitchen, and he's like, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "I'm wearing a dress." "Yes, you got to show those hips." I started blushing. It was in front of everybody.
It was very nice.
They didn't know, yeah.
She had the surgery. Now she's back. She's had a couple milkshakes, a couple stabbings.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's back to normal.
There you go.
I came into the house. I met a nice girl named Wendy.
Which Wendy, though?
Well, she said, my name's Wendy. I said, "Oh, Wendy, I know you." And she goes, "How do you know?" And I go, "Oh, the podcast stories, whatever." She goes, "Oh, no, that's that Wendy." And pointed to the blonde Wendy. She goes, "That's the everyday Wendy. I'm just the holiday Wendy."
I know. The last time I had a party, I'm just making sure that Wendy's not in here. But the last time I had a party, when I first moved into the house, I had a big housewarming party, and both Wendy's were there, and I had at the time this boyfriend. And he wasn't a very tall fella, and my friend Wendy is a very statuesque and beautiful woman, and she got it in her mind that she wanted to wrestle him, and so and we were in my couch in front of the fireplace, and she is. She wrestled him, and she was like grabbing, and I was so uncomfortable. I just started laughing because I was like, I don't even know how to deal with this. And then Wendy, my other friend, was like in shock that Wendy was so having a good time, if you know what I'm saying. And she started rocking back and forth, and she was definitely like having mama trauma, like, "Oh no, this reminds me of my mother." I'm looking around.
That's a good double Wendy story.
I said to my friend, the guy I was dating, I was like, afterwards, like, you were such a good sport to do that. And he's like, "Well, what could I do? I mean, the only way to get her off is if I would have punched her pussy." And I was all like, "Well, that's true."
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't punch your pussy at the party.
I would never dare to punch a woman in the pussy. That is so fucking wrong.
You've never punched a woman in the pussy?
No, that is just wrong.
Wait a second, you're surprised by that? Has everyone punched somebody in the pussy?
I can see puncturing a chick in the kidneys or something. You know what I'm saying? Just a little light kidney punch.
Well, have you ever punched anyone in the balls? Or kicked anyone in the balls?
Oh, yeah, I've kicked someone in the balls. When I was a kid. Yeah, I'm sure I've kicked my brother in the balls. Oh, yeah.
Well, a brother doesn't count.
Yeah,
I mean, like
count.
A boyfriend, or a guy that does something to you.
The
That's
only weird
awful.
thing I ever did to someone's balls is when I was 15, I had this boyfriend, and he was trying to get in my pants, and so I would just make him do outrageous shit, And so I was like, "Hey, you can't. We're not going to do it because your balls stink." And then I convinced him to pour, I think we talked about this, perfume on his balls. And and the hijinks ensued.
But you regretted that, right? Because
he regretted it immediately.
Yeah, because it burns.
It burned really bad.
Why would you
good
make
though.
somebody put perfume on their balls?
I don't know.
Don't you want
For
the full
some
essence
reason,
of the
I
nut?
thought I had the golden box, and I had
Don't
to
you
make
want
someone
that full
jump
essence
through.
of the fucking patois, the nut right in the crack there, right there?
There's ball smell, and then there's ball smell.
Yeah, there's bad ball
Yeah,
smell.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when it smells like rotten hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's like
Yeah.
3 hours on the 405, just sitting there in traffic.
Really, only 3 hours?
Your balls start fucking itching. It's terrible, and your balls stink naturally. It's just one of those things. It's like sweet potatoes. They just got that wang to them. Your balls, no matter how you wash them, even when I've tried it scientifically, I've come out of the shower and sniffed them, and they still have like that brown bag smell to them. You know what I'm saying?
Be
Like
very, very flexible.
I'm fucking bored. I'm not gonna do a yoga position to sniff my nuts.
But you
I just
could. You've
rub
been
the
taking-
skin on the nutsack and smell it and see what happens.
Wow, that's
It's like skin and ashes or something. I don't fucking
Skin
know.
and ashes.
Well, I like a ball smell. I just don't like a bad one, and I think that if you're predisposed to bad ball smell, then you just have one. You know what I mean? But I don't think you can get it.
I don't know.
You know, I think you either have it or you don't. It's like a chemical thing.
But you could do anything you want. You could rub them with Irish Spring. You could, they still have that wang to them. You're never gonna get
Well,
that.
let's just
But
take
it's
a
a good
poll.
wang. I mean,
out of all the men here, who's taken a shower and sniffed their balls afterwards to make sure it was all good? Oh,
See?
shit.
2. That's good. 2
Guys,
and 1
listen.
who's too afraid to admit
Hands
it.
tell you
action
something.
went up. That
We
was
don't give a
frightening.
fuck about what our nuts smell like. It's never on our mind. We just wash them with a hand towel, and in our mind, we're ready for fucking
It must
war.
be on your mind
You know,
if
and
you
there's
like,
no products
like
for
that.
bald nut
It's got to
stuff.
be on your mind.
There's Summer's Eve vaginal scrub. You follow what I'm saying? Because that's deep into the fucking artichoke of the monkey. And women go out and they fucking start thinking about, does my monkey smell?
Oh,
Does
yeah.
You know, before you have sex, women always call a timeout, and they always got to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
You know you don't pee. You go in there to smell what your monkey smells like. You ever see a boy tapping out and going to the bathroom? You don't give a fuck. You're taking these nuts as they come, bitch. 8-hour nuts and 2-hour nuts. You don't give a fuck. We'll find that out after we take our undies off and you smell your own nuts in the air. You're like, what the fuck is this wang in the fucking air? But they don't make a product for nuts. Women make vaginal scrub. I've never smelled a bad
Women
fucking
don't make
pussy.
vaginal
You
scrub.
haven't?
Well,
Men
no,
make
I've never
vaginal
smelled a
scrubs
bad
for
pussy.
women.
It all smells good to me.
Okay, who in this room has smelled a bad pussy? The one guy who doesn't smell his balls. That's interesting. That's a statistic.
I was in Idaho Springs for David Tribble. David Tribble does
Have
a
you done a
Wednesday.
triple gig?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does a Wednesday and a Thursday the following week. And the first week I got arrested at the Idaho Springs. The second week, it was the weirdest thing. It was like on a Wednesday night, and I'm dancing with this girl at the bar, whatever, and we're dancing, and something happened. You know, my hand ended up in her jeans, and that's the only time I got like bad wang. But I didn't sniff it. It was on my fingers. It wasn't like bad wang. I mean, have you ever bumped into like a bad wang monkey? No, all monkeys smell good.
No, how did you know it was bad? Did you go like
that's
this
exactly
and you were like,
right.
oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, you always
okay.
smell your fingers. That's the fucking.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the,
It's
that's the
serious.
whole,
So a guy goes,
yeah, that's the first thing you do.
that's what a guy does.
Yeah,
Really?
why
Do
not?
guys do that? Do guys really?
No, we just go home and wash our fucking hands. That's our trophy. That's our trophy. You ever see a
You
guy?
you lay in
ever-
a fetal position
listen,
later.
Listen, if you ever go to a man's office,
You do
You
that?
ever go into a man's office and he's got a picture of him with a shark?
Yeah.
If he could have a picture of him sniffing a woman's his fingers, he would, but it's not politically correct. You know what I'm saying to you? Like to me, I'd have a picture of me when I was like 12, sniffing my fingers. Like, what do you
You?
sniff? Some fucking Catholic chick from behind CYO basketball. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know, but that's what guys would do. We remember that shit. The first time we sniffed a fucking pussy, we remember that perverted shit. That's what keeps us going. That's our fuel for masturbation. Late night, we think about when we were 13 and we banged that girl behind the firehouse in the igloo. Remember I told you that story? I made a little igloo and I fucked her and shit like that.
Wait.
Darlene Bagolino. Whatever.
What do you mean an igloo? like a snow igloo?
Yeah, he made a
listen,
snow
dog,
igloo.
When you're 15 and sex is in the area, you get creative as a motherfucker. You understand me? You get creative as a motherfucker. So Friday night we went out. I had just gotten this money. We went out and like I sucked the little titties behind like this firehouse. So the next day we made plans to meet again, but it snowed that night. And you know me, I don't give a fuck. I took the bus up there with a shovel. And I shoveled the little spot, and I made like a little fuck igloo for us, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up going back to like
The
an
fuck
8-pack of
igloo.
nips. Remember in the East Coast,
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
yeah,
nips.
That's what we're gonna
yeah.
call
The
this
8-packs of
episode.
7-ounce
the fuck
beers,
igloo.
whatever
Yeah.
the fuck they are. And we drank and we fooled around. We brought like a little blanket out there. We didn't give a fuck. When you're 16,
No,
you don't give a fuck.
Did you have your dick out? Was there sex involved?
No, I
Oh,
left
okay.
my dick inside and looked at the
Yeah.
pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took my dick
Well,
out.
I'm
That's what it's
saying-
all about when you're
Well,
fucking 16.
I'm just
I don't
saying-
think I fucked her. I think I dry humped her.
Of course you didn't fuck her because you're in an igloo and there's no way your fucking dick isn't this tiny in a fucking igloo.
But it was like a
He's
half. It was
16
like,
years
Oh, it was
old,
like a half
Danielle.
igloo.
It was like a
Yeah.
Puerto Rican igloo. Like the side was missing. It was like one of those things it was like one of those things where you go to the museum and the side has like a stick and it's looking at the fucking stars. It was one of those igloos like that, only without the thing that looks at the stars. You know what I'm saying?
Puerto Rican igloo.
Yeah, like it was fucked up. They tapped out
The
after
Puerto
like,
Rican fuck igloo.
yeah, the Puerto Rican fuck igloo.
Oh my god, that was good. That was
Horrible,
good.
horrible.
Puerto Rican fuck igloo.
I don't even know how we got onto that, but that
is
was
a weird
hilarious.
conversation.
Now, did you ever will you put? I mean, I don't mean to get really gross, but we just talk. If you put a finger in a butt, would you smell it?
In my butt? Or
No,
in
no,
someone
not in your
else's
own butt. In somebody else's butt.
Well, I just want to know what we're talking about.
Because that's the girl version.
I have never stuck my finger up someone's ass and then sniffed it. No.
Oh no, and then sniffed it.
No,
Okay, right.
I bore full on with my tongue.
Sometimes I get scared to do it. Like sometimes I want to know, but sometimes I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the truth.
You just go in there and wash your hands and make believe like it never happened.
I mean, it's just sometimes, you don't know what the circumstances are of the day or whatever. And sometimes you want to do it, but you don't want to necessarily know, how bad it is, I don't know.
Anyway, Joey.
I think it's time to go now. We love you, motherfuckers. If you have any emails that you want us to resend to beautyandthebeastpodcast@gmail.com, and do not forget to write comments for us on iTunes if you like the podcast.
Yeah, if you write comments, it helps us with our What's Hot status, which, by the way, we are on all the time.
Really?
Yeah, we
Still?
get up there quite a bit. Yeah,
Good.
We appreciate our
podcast.
audience. Yeah, so thank you guys.
So stay black, have a good week, and see you motherfuckers in Chicago.